It has been announced that the Bucks and Giannis are seeking a split. Finally, we are getting to the end of the Giannis trade saga. Shams tweeted that the two-time MVP is ready for a new home at the February 5th NBA trade deadline or in the offseason as several rival teams make aggressive offers to the Milwaukee Bucks for him, and the franchise is starting to listen. This is going to completely change the dynamic of the league, and in this video we are going to talk about the three teams that Giannis has listed that he's interested in the Toronto Raptors, New York Knicks, and the Miami Heat, and what their offers would look like. So starting off with the New York Knicks, they probably have the weakest offer in my opinion. They don't really have the draft compensation. They would need a third team to facilitate the picks for them, along with trading Karl-Anthony Towns to make the money work, but I don't see the Milwaukee Bucks wanting Karl-Anthony Towns. The only way this deal would work is if they had a third team get involved. That team would end up having to take on Karl-Anthony Towns, and then the young pieces and the draft compensation would come from said team to go to the Milwaukee Bucks. And then the New York Knicks would obviously get Giannis. It's the only way this trade would really work. So the Knicks would have to find a third team. They really would be interested to see what that third team would be. I can see it being a team like maybe the Charlotte Hornets, or maybe another team in the Eastern Conference that feels like they are a Karl-Anthony Towns away from being a legitimate contender or a legitimate piece. Maybe a team like the Orlando Magic, who might feel like they could move some pieces around to get Karl-Anthony Towns. So it would just be very difficult with Karl-Anthony Towns' contract, Giannis's contract. The money works there, but getting a third team might be tricky. Orlando doesn't really seem like a likely destination, especially after the Desmond Bane trade. So I do see a team like Charlotte or just a third team having to get involved. Then when you look at the Miami Heat, they'd obviously have to part ways with some of their young talent, whether it be Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez. Tyler Hero obviously would have to be in this deal to make the money work. But the issue with Miami is they've been very difficult to move off of their young talent. They really value their young guys. And so they might not be compelled to give one of those guys up along with picks to get Giannis, especially Giannis who's in his 30s. Giannis has probably got at least 5 to 6 more years of being a top 5 NBA player. The Heat have been in purgatory. They've been stuck for the last couple of years, so they absolutely need to make this deal. They need to jump on it. They have pretty much struck and missed on every single star player who said they've wanted to come to Miami, whether it be Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard. They cannot allow themselves to miss out yet again. Finally, you have the Toronto Raptors. This is the team that I find to be the most interesting. They've got the young pieces. They've got the draft capital. They can make things work. The money would be a little bit complicated. They would obviously have to part ways with Jakob Poeltl, RJ Bane, and Emmanuel quickly, along with the draft compensation that Milwaukee is going to be looking for. I think that's the most likely trade package. Toronto probably doesn't want to move off of Scotty Barnes or RJ Barrett. It's going to be very difficult to get the Raptors to move off of those guys. They're obviously going to want those guys to be their cornerstones and to pair next to Giannis. And Toronto has been surprisingly really good this year, and because of how good the Raptors have been, they might feel like they are a Giannis away from being able to compete in the Eastern Conference. And with the East being so wide open, why not go for it and swing on a Giannis trade? I think the Raptors are probably the most likely of the three teams to be able to successfully get a deal done. What teams do you guys think are going to be teams that make offers and try their hand at trying to land Giannis Antetokounmpo? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new and for more on the Giannis trade request. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.